Give me a P.
B.
Give me an H.
H.
Give me a B.
B.
What do you say?
Hey. Hey.
Woo!
Hey.
Welcome to our Promotion Pro Expert Interview Series. Hi, everybody. I'm Josephine Hanna, but you can call me Jose, and I'm the founder of Promote Her Business, where we promote your business and each other. Say it with me now. Online, offline, all the time.
All the time.
As you can see, our expert is really raring to go and has the PHP spirit, so I absolutely love it. And today what we are going to be talking about for our topic of the month is adding retreats and events to your business. And this is really important because this is super important because it's not just about learning how to market great offers. It's also about offering great things that make it easy on you to market. And retreats are definitely a really hot topic. And specifically what we're going to cover today is we're going to be talking about why retreats and potentially other events may make a great addition to your business. We're going to talk about mistakes entrepreneurs make. Even if you've been doing retreats for a while, you will learn something new on this call about how to elevate your ability to plan them. And you'll also be learning about how to have more influence and clients from really being part of the retreat scene as an offering. So I have the pleasure today of introducing an expert who has been on our Promotion Pro interview series before, and she is being called back because she was such a hit, and she was also such a hit at our 2017 Year of Women Entrepreneurs Conference. Her name is Katarina Rando. And Katarina Rando serves women on a mission and shows them how to get booked for speaking and how to thrive with their own trainings, events, group programs, and of course, retreats. She is the publisher of Thriving Women in Business Magazine, which I know many of you have saw. Some of you have even been in. If you haven't read it, you need to get on the list and really pay attention to Thriving Women in Business Magazine. And she's also just an extremely giving person. She thinks bigger than her business, and she's a whole giving circle. So please help me welcome the one, the only, Katarina Rando. Are you
Yay,
there?
Jose, happy to be here. Happy to be with all the PHP ladies. Bing, bing, bing.
Bing, bing, bing. We're glad to have you. So I know when we were talking about possible topics, since you are so well versed in so many things, and the topic of retreats came up, and I could just see on your face you were just lit up about this. So can you tell everybody listening, like, why is this an exciting topic?
Well, my favorite thing, and I'm sure for many of you, is to get the ladies together and to be with a room of like-minded, like-hearted women. And that's what happens when you do events, when you do retreats, and we'll talk more about it. That's why it's awesome. You know, in our world of internet life and technology, and we can meet virtually, it's even more important these days to meet live and in person. Connection is more important than ever, especially for women. And when you get together and you are having some time for reflection, rejuvenation, learning, it's awesome, and it can catapult your life and your business. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm so excited about it. Also, it's super fun.
I love it. I love it. And, you know, and one of the reasons, I mean, we've also asked Katarina back on this topic is because we've had many people in our Promote Her Business community attend Katerina's events. They became raving fans. I'm personally going on a cruise with Katerina. So, I mean, we really want to share with you experts, not just any experts, but experts our community really trusts. And Katerina is one of them. She's very loved. And so please really take copious notes as we're going through this interview, because it will make a huge difference from the get-go on if you are successful in the world of doing your own retreats and really elevating the events you're already doing, okay? So, Katerina, for those of us on this call who might not be as familiar with all the awesome retreats that you've done and events, can you just tell people so they get like a sense of it?
Sure. So I do an annual, what I call our Breakthrough Luxury Retreat for women entrepreneurs every year. And this is usually 3 nights to 4 nights to 5 nights of not only luxury 5-star time. We've done them at the Fairmont. We've done them at Sonoma Mission Inn. We're doing them we've done them in Maui at the Fairmont Kea Lani. And this is a time when we don't talk about sales or marketing or finance or operations. We talk about success from the inside out. That's our annual luxury retreat. And coming up, the next one is going to be actually a 10-day cruise to Mexico. That'll be our Breakthrough Luxury Retreat for women entrepreneurs. That's the first retreat that I do every year, and that's really how I got started with retreats. And then now we've added a second retreat, which is actually a 3-month virtual program, and then a week-long cruise where we talk about how to do events and retreats for women and how to monetize that in your business. And, you know, I decided if we're going to teach people how to do events and retreats, maybe we should do a retreat around that. And so that's why we have a 3-month virtual where we talk about the business side of it and the marketing and all that. And then we have more of an experiential retreat teaching people how to do an awesome retreat by modeling it. And that's our California cruise that we're doing next year, Joe's, that you're coming on. And we're doing one this year as well. By the way, if any ladies want to come with Joe's and me on a cruise, please join us because it's going to be awesome. And so those are just 2 examples of retreats. Women, though, do all kinds of things. You can call anything you want pretty much a retreat. And, you know, we'll talk about how it's different than other things you might do. But a retreat doesn't have to be a destination retreat. You know, it doesn't have to be a week in Mexico. It could be a 1 day in your living room if you're just getting started.
Mm-hmm. And that's a really important point, because we have people at all different levels listening to this call. We have people who have been aspiring to even put on their first event, Katerina. Right. And we have some very, very seasoned speakers that travel all over the world, and they're also listening in, and they're like, you know, we know you know the best of the best, so you can kind of talk to both.
Yeah, and so wherever you are in your business, whether you're a newbie, you know, just getting your party started, or you've been doing your thing for a very long time, the thing to recognize is that retreats are an opportunity for you to deepen your relationship with your clients and to attract new clients. And they're also an opportunity to have not just the teaching side of it, but more an experiential delivery for your clients, or more reflective. You know, you can have a retreat on meditation, a retreat on yoga, a retreat on social media. You know, whatever we're teaching and training our clients on, we can have a retreat spin on that.
Now, if you could just talk a little bit more about specifics in terms of the definition, because I know it's hard to do what we can't define, and there was somebody in our community already asked this question, and they said, hold on, let me just read it to you. It's, Katerina, what is the definition of a retreat versus a conference versus an event?
Okay, so let's just start. Like a conference usually has more than one speaker. There's multiple speakers usually at a conference. It's not just one person. But the truth is you could define these things pretty much any way that you like. What people would think about though, whoops, for a retreat, turn your phone on when you're doing Zoom. Okay, what people would think about for a retreat is there's usually more downtime. So let's say it's a 3-day retreat. You're not going to schedule education, 9 to 5 all 3 days. There's usually some reflection time, some downtime for people to go and do their journaling or do their, rejuvenation. So that's one of the things that retreats usually have is not a packed schedule. The second thing is retreats are generally not just education. They could be education, but then, time for implementation. That could be a retreat. It's not just all education. Usually, retreats are not in your typical hotel or training center venue. Retreats often are at more of a natural venue, out in nature, or it could be more of a getaway venue. Again, though, you could do a retreat at your house if you want to, with some ladies in your living room, but it's not just you'd have education. Maybe you do, you do manicures, maybe you do vision boards, right? I mean, there's a lot of things, activities that are more transformational. So it's usually more than just education is part of what determines a retreat. And there's some downtime. And retreats are also generally not huge. You're not going to have 250 people at your retreat. Some people do big retreats, but most people do 10, 20, 30 people for a retreat.
Got it. And would you say, there's people with different audiences in our community. So some are more wanting to do retreats with entrepreneurs, some are more in the corporate world. Is there a difference?
Well, and I think just in terms of ladies, because I serve ladies, men too, though, need to go on a retreat. The thing is, though, whether you're corporate, whether you're entrepreneurial, whether your moms are your clients, women over 40, whomever your client base is, a retreat is something that can absolutely serve them. It's not just for women entrepreneurs. In fact, corporate ladies might even need retreats more, because, or at least as much as we do, because they're having a lot of responsibility and demands on their lives as well. So don't think that this is just a women entrepreneur thing. This is a people thing.
Gotcha. And how much time would you say does it typically take to plan a retreat?
Well, I'm laughing because here's the thing you want to consider. First of all, the larger amount of time, like a 1-day retreat, is not going to take as much time to plan, of course, as a 2-day, 3-day, 7-day, 10-day. So the longer your retreat, the more time you're going to need to plan. More importantly, the more time you're going to need to fill it. So if it's 1 day, you could do that in 6 weeks. If it's 2 days, I'm probably going to suggest 2 months to 3 months. If it's 5 days, then you're going to want to book that out a year ahead of time to start letting people know, to save the date and start enrolling people.
Okay. And just
I do have a super tip I want to share right here. It's really important.
Okay, go ahead.
Now we're focusing primarily on retreats today. Recognize though that, you want to do introduction events in your business. You want to do 1-day seminars, 2-day seminars in your business, because it's all an opportunity to get with you, people to get with you and learn from you. The thing to recognize is nobody's going to want to hang out with you for a week or 5 days far away. They've got to jump on a plane when they haven't hung out with you for a day. I shouldn't say nobody, almost nobody. There will be that 1 or 2 people that will be an insta yes for whatever you do. But most people are not going to make a choice to come and go away with you when they haven't had a lot of time with you live and in person already. So that's why I don't recommend people start with long retreats. I recommend they start with a 1 day or a 2 day, and then next time do a 3 day or a 4 day. Start small and start where you are. Start in your neighborhood, start in your area before you ask people to go away overnight.
And I love what you're getting at, Katerina, because actually one of the questions that came up was somebody had been doing some competitive research, and they found out that a lot of people in the same industry were doing 3-day retreats.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was tempted to say, well, I'm going to do a 3-day retreat too, just because other people in my industry are. And what I'm hearing you say is she might want to rethink that if she's never even done a 1 day.
Right. Right. It's like, so, hey, come to my 3 day. Well, that's a lot of time when I barely know you, This is why I love the 1 day. By the way, the longer your event, the more challenging to fill it. So for example, I do 1 days. 1 days fill with ease. I do 2 days. They take more attention to fill. A 2-hour event or a 3-hour event is going to feel like super easy. So if you're not having difficulty filling your 1 day, don't be offering a 3 day yet. Okay, you have to have enough influence built for people to want to come hang out with you. You have to be able to communicate it effectively. You have to have your marketing program in place, and you need that for every type of event, either the 3-hour or 2-hour intro, of course, to your longer events. So don't commit yourself to 3 days if you haven't tested the smaller things.
Now, I know there's some women in our community who, they're having some challenges with filling even a 1 day event at this point. On the same note, they've already been like, Katerina's doing this event and this cruise, and it's so cool, and their eyes are sparkling. And they're like, oh, it would be so cool if we could do that too. So in terms of having them wait till they're ready, would you say, how soon do you?
Well, here's the thing, Jose. I'm not a big believer in ready. I think ready is a myth because it's in the doing. And you know this because you're a woman of action. It's in the doing that we get ready, And so when we say, okay, I'm doing this, that's when the party starts, and that's when we get ready. We never really get ready to do anything until we're going to go do it. What I do encourage people to do is be strategic in what they're doing and to follow the model that we've just discussed. Start with a 1 day, and if you fill a 1 day with ease, great. Now you can think about a 3-day event or a retreat, 3-day retreat. And again, of course, the price point is going to matter. How far people have to travel is going to matter. All those things matter. But then also look at, okay, well, if I did a 1 day and I want to do a 3 day, what else can I do to be successful? Another thing is you may want to collaborate with somebody else, or you may want to at least bring in some outside speakers that add some additional interest if you feel like maybe I'm not going to, fill the room as easily on my own for 3 days. So collaboration is also something you can look at. Again, your marketing has to be in place. And Jose, I know you've heard me say this, but let me say something very important. People get enamored a little bit with, I'm going to put together a marketing sequence and a squeeze page, and I'm going to, fill my retreat from online. Most people are not going to come and hang out with you again if they don't really know you. And so don't think that we fill our retreats or even our events just from promotion. Marketing is promotion. We fill it from picking up the phone, chatting with people, inviting them personally to come, inviting people when we're out and about to come. And of course, if it's a retreat, they're going to pay the fee, but personally enrolling them, letting them know that you're interested. That's how you fill events.
Awesome.
At every level.
I love it. And I think it's, and it takes something to be able to sometimes pick up that phone and follow, and follow up with people. And I really recommend to everybody listening right now is to go ahead and make a note and write down, are you building follow-up, like actual phone time into what you're doing? I think that's what I'm hearing what Katerina is saying, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you need time to fill your events, but then also, Joe's, what I do is if I have an event on Friday, Monday, I have time on that calendar for event follow-up. If I'm doing an event, like tonight, I'm doing an event. What do I have on my calendar tomorrow? Event follow-up is on there, because you want to make sure that you're taking advantage of the positive energy that you're creating. And if you wait too long for follow-up, and when I say follow-up, I mean blah, 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 talking to people, because, you want to have those relationships. Like, not everybody's going to be an Insta yes. So, for example, I'm giving a speech tonight. I'm going to invite ladies to come to my next 2-day event. And some of them will be an Insta yes. But if they're not, I'm still going to do my follow-up tomorrow to get more yeses. And I really want people to know that the fortune is in the follow-up. Everybody's heard that. It's really important that you put a structure in place in your business to support that. And then your business will fill with more ease, and your events will fill with more ease, and your retreats, of course.
Now, another question that we got is, how important is getting a catchy title for your retreat?
Well, I would say that I do talk about having a fun, unique, sexy title for your events. I find it a little bit harder to do for my retreats. So I would say the truth is that, you just pick something and you run with it, and then you can change it later. Like, I'm going to change the name of one of my events now because I have a little better name that really kind of describes better what the event actually is. Like the Shiro Summit, which you've come to, Joe's, where we give the ladies the capes and the glasses, and the idea is that they're super Shiros. Well, that event is all about using speaking to grow your business, but it doesn't say speaker in the title. So we're going to change it from the Shiro Summit to the Shiro Speaker Summit. Now, it doesn't make as much, it's not as interesting, but I think it makes it clearer what the event actually is. So, you start somewhere and then you continue to upgrade. And this is why we can't wait for ready, because it's in the doing that we realize what's working and what's not working, and we upgrade. And we're always upgrading. So this is how you get masterful at doing events, at doing retreats, at doing speaking, at doing writing, is you have hours and hours and hours of experience, and that makes us really good. So if you can't come up with a sexy name or an interesting name for your retreat, don't wait until you come up with one. Just like say, hey, save the date for my retreat. Details to follow, okay? And then give yourself a little time to come up with a more enticing name. I do want to say one thing. It has to be on brand too. Like sometimes people say to me, well, Katerina, I don't know what I'm going to speak about. Well, speak about whatever matches what you're selling. And the same thing with your retreat. Your retreat has to match whatever you're going to be doing at the retreat, but also whatever you're going to sell them after. Very important.
Mm. And I really hope everyone just wrote that down, because I'm sure that is classified as another super tip.
Super tip, yeah.
Huge. So what would you say to, there's women who are on this call who they've been doing it for years, they've seen it, they've done it. Like, what is the next step for them to really elevate?
Okay. So one of the things that I have as a guiding principle for my retreats is what I call exposure over immersion. So let me explain. Part of what happens at retreats, if you're doing it right, is that you're exposing your participants to new resources, could be new speakers, new activities that they may not be aware of already, but you're only exposing them, you're not immersing them. So for example, like at one of our retreats, we played bocce ball. At another one, we did grape stomping. We've done veil dancing, which is which is fabulous. Of course, we've done yoga and we've done meditation, and I'm an essential oil enthusiast. So we've had someone talk about essential oils. But we do all these things, not the whole time. We did veil dancing for 30 minutes. We do them we did an optional evening of grape stomping, which, by the way, is my favorite thing in life. If you haven't stomped grapes, run, don't walk. So you're belly dancing. So we're exposing them, but we're not immersing them. And the reason for that is because not everybody's going to resonate with everything, And so it's really important that you say, okay, so what are a few little things that I can add for my retreat that I think would help people and be fun, but at the same time, if some people don't resonate with it, like one time we had this lady come and talk about Akashic records. And don't ask me what that is because I'm going to have difficulty explaining it. But guess what? Some of the ladies loved it. They were like, oh my God, it's so awesome. And I'm so excited about this. And there was a couple ladies that were like, I'm not into this. Well, that's okay because we only did it for 45 minutes, So really important that you have this as a guiding principle because I think it makes your retreat more fun. And it's a great way to support your ladies and expose them to some new things. And I forget what the question was, but I hope that was an appropriate answer.
No, it was perfect. It was about people who've already been doing retreats.
Yeah, great.
What's a little something to spice?
Right, exactly.
Great. So another question is, how do you price your retreats?
Okay, great. So the biggest challenge I see is not considering all of your costs. And now, of course, everyone's costs are different. So I can't say, exactly what the price is. One of the things I want to encourage people to remember, you want like 10% for marketing, okay? Now, it might not take you, let's say you're having 20 ladies at your retreat. Sheila, Jane, and Mary, it might not, and you're charging $1,000. It might not take you $100 to sign up Mary, Jane, and Sheila, but you know what? You have to consider amortizing the cost of your marketing, your flyers, your graphic designer, your printing, all these things that you have, your web page, like everything you have to do to market is going to average out to at least about 10% of the cost for the attendees. And that's a good budget for you, 10% for marketing. But then in terms of, considering your costs, but then you also have admin. So, it's kind of an 80-20. Some people take a lot of administrative time. Some people take less. And then, of course, your general business overhead. So we got 30% right there before we've even talked about the actual cost of the actual retreat, okay? So then you have to consider, everything on your list, your venue, your food, etc. And your decorations, so everything, But then guess what? We're still not done. Then we have to add kind of a buffer, okay? Because it's always going to cost you more. I mean, I can tell you, I've never done an event, even a 2-hour event, that hasn't cost more than I expected. Because, well, if it's me, at the last minute, I'm thinking, oh, we need to get them some chocolate, or something like that. Because I always want to add a little something, something. If it's a one-day event, I'm going to include 10% buffer. If it's a 2-day event, I'm going to include, or a 3-day, I'm going to include about a 20% buffer. If it's more than that, I'm going to include about a 30% buffer. Okay? So everybody with me on this?
Yes.
Then, okay, great. So then in addition, you have to think, okay, so here's all my costs. Here's my buffer. Here's my 30%. Just getting started that we discussed. But then what? How much do you want to make on your cruise? How much profit? Now, that is also, do you want to pay yourself? By the way, the answer is yes. You want to pay yourself. Okay? So with that, how much do you want to add on top of that to pay yourself and make some money? Okay? So exactly what that is, everybody has to decide for themselves, and earlier in business it might be less than it is later in business. These are all things to consider when you're pricing. Now, in addition to everything, all that we just discussed, here's the other thing. If it's my first retreat, I'm not as interested in massively monetizing. I just want to do it. I want to fill the room. That's what you want, right? Your first time, you're just trying to do it. Now say, oh, let's make maximum profit. No, mama, you never did it before. Just do it, okay? And make some money. So that's why we talk about the introductory price, okay? The regular price is going to be $19.97. Because it's the first time, it's going to be $14.97. And maybe $12.97 if you sign up with Early Bird. Always have Early Bird, especially for a retreat. Now, in addition to that, okay, super tip alert, it's not just about the money that you're making, the ticket price, the door price. It's also about what you're going to offer at the end. And this is where your upsell is really important. So think about, what are you going to offer? Some people forget to do an offer. By the way, for the next 50 years, anytime you're doing an event or a retreat, whatever you're doing, you're always making an offer. Doesn't have to be for another event or retreat, but it's got to be for something, because they're there with you, they've had quality time with you, you've built influence, they've gotten massive value. Always offer them the next thing before they leave. Okay, I got one more thing to say about this. Oh, super tip alert. You always, if you're going to do another retreat, you always offer the next retreat at this retreat. I just talked to a client this morning. She's doing her next retreat in 2 weeks. We were talking about what should the bonus be and what should the offer be that she's going to make them at the end. Because really important, you want to fill the room for your next one before people even leave from this one.
Love it. Super powerful. I know you'll create a lot of smiling faces in the community, knowing that it's possible to actually fill your room at an event before the next event. How cool.
Oh my God, absolutely. Now, I'm going to say you're not going to be 100% full, but you're looking for at least 30 to 50%, which you can get if you are having your attention on it.
Gotcha. Very cool. Now, would you say, are there any hidden costs to retreat?
The short answer, my friend, would be yes. Okay, because it's not usually that they're hidden. It's just that you may not think about them. And when I teach my events and retreats class, for example, I give people like a venue checklist for everything to consider when they're going to a venue. I give them a marketing checklist. I give them a production checklist. And by the way, everybody you want to put together your own, okay? So that you are preparing for next time. Oh, I forgot to put this, and you're always upgrading. So there are always costs that you did not consider. Like, for example, I did it to us I do a one-day event on how to do events and retreats. And I did it at a place that was not a hotel. And I realized, oh my gosh, when I go to the hotels, everybody gets a pen. Now, that's a simple thing, but they didn't give us pens at this place because it wasn't a hotel. So then I had to add on, and me, I'm not just going to give them a Schlumpadinka pen. I'm going to give them a nice fancy glitter pen. So that was an additional expense. It's okay because that's in that little 10% buffer that we talked about, right? But there's always going to be something extra, which is why you have that buffer that we discussed earlier.
Gotcha. Now, I know you talked about this a little bit, but for our really analytical people out there who like specific numbers, is there a work versus play ratio that's recommended?
Well, I haven't really thought of it like that, but I would say that you want some unscheduled time every day. Okay, so if it's going to be a 2-day retreat, let's just say, we would have some afternoons free. We would have one of the afternoons free, and we would have probably optional evening activities. Let me say that. I mean, you have evening activities, but don't say, oh my gosh, you have to be there, because that puts pressure on your people. And some people may want to take more time for rejuvenation. They might want to go get a massage. So optional evening activities. And those should really be fun activities versus let's come and learn more about technology or social media, like not heavy brain stuff, light brain stuff. In fact, minimal brain stuff, like, like even making vision boards would be a good example. Something, going dancing, something different. Again, exposure versus immersion. A lot of your people probably haven't gone dancing or done karaoke or, some of these like kind of gone bowling. These are activities that you get to introduce to them. And part of what really makes retreats rock for people is when they're doing things that they wouldn't do on their own. Now, of course, they could go bowling on their own, but they probably don't. So this kind of thing, we had someone come in. We often have a arts and crafts session or art session in our retreats. And someone come in and taught the ladies how to do watercolor. Now you could do that on your own, but you're probably not doing it on your own. So that's what makes it fun, is to bring in specialty speakers to do fun activities. So yes, downtime every day would be my recommendation.
Now, I know you've talked a little about collaborations, and also in our PHP community, we call them promotion partnerships, building a dream team of people you share the stage with. Is there anything that you should think about when you're talking to people?
Yes. Great question, Jose. So here's the thing. A meeting planner interviewed me once, and she said, well, Katerina, who are the best speakers out there? And I said to her, you know what? There's a lifetime supply of great speakers, okay? It's not about who's the best speaker. It's about who's the best person to invite to speak off the platform, okay? It's not about great speakers. It's about how are they as a partner when they get off the platform, okay? So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for speaker partners, meaning they're going to promote your business and your event. They're going to be easy to work with. They're not going to be a, prima donna speaker, right? They're going to be positivo. They're going to have the same values as you. They're going to be a partner with you. And of course, depending on whatever your revenue model is, they're not just there about the revenue. They're there to really support you to have an outstanding event and be of service to your people. And so one of the things that I am a big advocate for in my business, in my community, is what I call community over celebrity. Okay, so I don't invite celebrities to come talk, and I don't invite people that think they're celebrities to come talk, because I'm looking for people that are going to be in the community. So I want them to come. I want them to be there for the whole event or retreat. I want the ladies to be able to get to know them, to build a relationship with them, community over celebrity. And those are so that's part of my values for the speaker partners that I'm looking for. So you have to get clear. What are the values for your event or retreat? And then of course, those are the same as for your speaker partners, because you're looking for people that are going to make you look good, that are going to be easy to work with, that your guests are going to love and they're going to say to you, thank you so much for bringing in so-and-so. She brought massive value. That's what we're looking for.
Gotcha. So overall, what would you say are the biggest mistakes to avoid when planning a retreat?
Okay, great question. Well, the biggest mistake I see, Jose, is that people start too big. They say, oh my gosh, I'm going to take the ladies to Italy for 10 days. Okay, look, I've been doing retreats for a long time. Everybody says they want to go to Italy, but when I ask them to plop down their $4,900, I don't think they're going to be as insta yes to do it. You have to, just people say, oh, well, everyone's telling me to do a retreat in England or London or Ireland. Okay, yeah, everyone's going to tell you that because it sounds like an exciting idea, but you have to really know, is my community, my list, my market, can it support that? Don't start there. Start with in your living room. Start with the one day. Start where you are. Start small. That is really important. So going too big before you've done anything smaller is really the biggest mistake I make. I don't make that mistake. I see that. And then the other thing that we've touched on is big mistake, not making an offer at your event. Big mistake, not inviting people to the next thing at your thing. Related to that, not having the dates for the next thing. Okay, so here's what you need to sell it to somebody. You need a price, you need a theme, even if you don't have the sexy name, you need a theme, and you need a date, okay? The location can even be to be determined. You can't take somebody's money until you have those 3 things. Have those 3 things before your retreat or event so that you can sign people up for the next thing.
Great. And I know we're getting close to the top of the hour, and you've given us just such, I know it's gone by so fast, but you've given us just such awesome information. I know myself, I think people watching this have even seen, I've looked down a couple of times because I'm going to tell you a secret. I'm taking notes.
Okay, my friend. My friends, the next time I do my one day in your area, I'm going to invite you as my VIP guest.
Awesome. I always love your events.
Thank you.
So what would you say, for the people, they're just pumped, listening on this call. What would you say are, let's say, the 2 biggest next steps for anybody who wants to get in the world of
Okay. This is what I teach at my class, Joe. This is what I tell the ladies 1,000 times. Pick a date, pick a price, run with it, okay? Know what you're going to be covering just generally. That's it. Pick a date, pick a price. Now you say, well, Katerina, I'm not sure about the price. Just pick a price. It's your first one. Get the party started, okay? Get the party started. And one thing we haven't talked about, Jose, which I want to throw in here, is that I've had clients say to me, doing my retreats is the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my business. Now, when they say that, they're not just talking about the money, although it does create more lucrative business. People, by the way, you'll get a higher close ratio at retreats than you will with seminars. This is what I've learned from one of my experts recently. You're getting a lot more insta yeses from a retreat because people are more relaxed, they're having more time with you. But the thing is that you will find retreats are so rewarding for you as the producer to do, because you're going to have some quality time with your quality clients. You're building long-term and lifelong relationships, and you're going to feel so rich and so full, and you're going to have so much fun at your retreat. And so I really want to encourage people to recognize that side of it. One more thing, Jose, we haven't touched on. Have a team so that you can be with your guests and with your people, and have a team that's helping you with all of the logistical aspects on the ground at your retreat or event.
Gotcha. And when you say team, just for clarification, are you talking about your own employees, contractors? Are you talking about speaking partners?
Yeah, I'm talking about a staff that could be independent contractors. They could be your employees, but if not, you're hiring them just for the event. I have ladies that their whole business is helping people with their events or retreats as their staff just for the event or for before and during. So you want people that know what they're doing. And if you're like, I can't, pay for that, recognize you're going to sell more because you're not, schlepping around. You get to be with your people. That's really, and by the way, that's what they're paying for. They're coming to the retreat partially because they want more time with you. Recognize that, and don't be not available to them when there's not session.
Great. And I really loved how, I mean, you're just so creative. You're such a creative visionary. And just, I really want to acknowledge you for actually coming up with a retreat concept in which you actually teach retreats. That's just brilliant.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. And, you know, thank you for it being brilliant. The other thing is that it's unique. And if you can come up with something that's different than what every, you know, Jane, Mary, and Sue is doing, that's going to be, oh, you know, that's interesting. And the people are going to take another look, and hopefully you're going to fill it with ease. And I do want to say, Joe's, one of my things that I think really helps me fill my retreats with ease and has people keep coming back is part of my values is to treat all my clients super VIP. And we do that in lots of ways. And part of it is with, you know, we give them gifts and robes and, words of an acknowledgement. Like, we really treat our clients VIP before, during the event, so they really feel good about their investment. And that's really important. Don't skimp on your retreat. Make your people feel super VIP, and they will keep coming back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's great. And I would love, you know, at this point, if you can just repeat when your events and your retreats and definitely your Shiro Speaker Summit.
Oh my gosh, so exciting. On November 3rd and 4th, thank you, Jose, is our next Shiro Speaker Summit, which will be in the Bay Area. I am still finalizing my hotel, so don't ask me exactly where yet, but it will be in the Bay Area on November 3rd and 4th, and that's all about using speaking to build your fempire, to build your business big, and that's with events, with marketing speeches, with how to get booked for speaking, how to come home with clients. That's what we're going to be covering at the Shiro Summit. And then I also do a one-day event, and I don't have the exact dates on this, but we're booking a South Bay one very soon on doing events and retreats. It'll be a one-day, and all PHB peeps will get a VIP discount because I love PHB. I'm a member of PHB, which is even more exciting. And so I'll let you guys know about that. And of course, everybody's welcome to Facebook me and ask me whatever you want. And also, any way I can serve you, go to my website, KatarinaRando.com. And I would love to support you in massively monetizing your events and retreats and your speaking.
So once again, just one more time, her website is Katarina Rando, RANDO.com. Okay, definitely talk to her. She's also a member, and you know, in our Promote Her Business community, we collaborate also with other communities that we have shared values. And Katarina's community is really aligned with our values of PHB, and we're also big believers in community over celebrity. So yes, Katarina is a community member. So I mean, definitely learn from her because she's the best of the best, but also learn from Katarina because she is one of our own. She is in our community.
My privilege.
And she just, she's wonderful. So
thank you, Jose.
Thank you.
I love you. I love all PHB, everything. PHB has been enriching my life since I started. This is my first year with PHB. I love having all my PHB ladies in my life. And everybody, I want to thank you, Jose. Everybody want to say, don't just say, okay, Katarina's got some good ideas, I'll be thinking about that. No, my friends, get in action. Pick a date, pick a price, figure out what it's going to be doing, and do it now. Get it on the calendar. You could schedule something for next year. That's fine. But get the party started, because retreats will support you in massively monetizing in your business, building more community, having more fun, and being more fulfilled through your business.
Wonderful, wonderful. And my final remark for today is going to be immediately after this interview, we're going to send you a survey so that you can even tell us other questions you have for Katarina, other topics you wish we could answer them. Oh, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I'm happy to answer any questions you got. I'm here. I'm here to serve you and the ladies for sure.
Perfect. So everybody make sure to fill out this survey because we want to know what you want to hear, and we want to bring back people who can, have the expertise to actually answer your questions. Okay. So until we see you again at one of our second Tuesday or fourth Wednesday events, keep promoting your business and each other. Say it with me now. Online, offline, all the time.
Online, offline, all the time.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.